Alright guys, welcome back to the RC Guru YouTube channel. Today we're going to try something a little different. We're going to see if this 3D printed behind the axle servo mount works on our budget build buggy. I got it all completed. Everything's ready to go. It's RTR, you throw a battery in it, it's rolling. But I found this mount online and I want to see if it's strong enough. It's really strong sitting on the bench, but let's see. So we'll get this thing torn apart and take a look at the front. Can you see it? There you go. So this is called a servo on axle mount because it's on top of the servo. An SOA mount, but we're going to put a behind the axle mount on it. A VTA mount. So I'm going to pull all this off and then I'm going to bring these back. Alright guys, so the first step is just get your servo loose, take your 4 screws out and just move your servo out of the way. Watch it back there, all these scale items. Ooh, ooh, I'll fix that after. But now that you got your servo loose, it gives you access to all your other bolts that you need underneath your screws that's holding down your original truss. You're going to have to release your top 2 bars, as this has a riser link on the front of it, which is also cool too. So it'll give it some anti-dive in the front. And I'm going to pull this off and then, well, you'll see. Back. So you take that off. That goes to the side. Now you have the pretty well bare axle housing. So take your time now, take you 2 seconds if you got a rag handy, and give it a wipe down and clean off. Then we're going to fix our new axle truss. Oh, it's exciting. On top of here, does it even lock up? Oh, there's the one screw in the way. Let's take this out of the back here. Nothing? Food film? Not much. Clean it up. Lock up. Oh, looks real good. Just bumping in that shock, just a whisker. So what needs to happen? We should... Where's the long one I just pulled out? That one was super long. Drop that fellow there. Cool. Or was it just a little bit? Anyway, so what we're going to do now is cinch this sucker down, and we're going to use the same style screws as what came out of it, and we're going to use hand tools. And of course the only screwdriver I can't find, no, is it's always the 3rd place you look. Remember that, guys. Does that go down low enough through the plastic to grab anything? I don't think so. I think we need to get us some longer screws. I'm going to find some appropriate hardware. Yeah, it doesn't even go through the plastic. And then I'll bring these back. Screws applied. Proper lengths. They needed to be completely different. Lining up. Okay, good. That's cinching down. Looks like I'm going to need a shorter screw inside the side. No way it needs that much engagement. And shorter. Small one. It barely even goes through. There's nothing on top of it now. It doesn't need a Doesn't need that. It doesn't have to be countersunk. There we go. So you got your two in your axles. They're still moving. That's great. And now you're gonna have to do something custom with the linkage. And we'll have to get into that, won't we? Because that linkage just won't do. So we'll see what we have to do here in a second. Get our servo kind of mocked up. That's going to be kind of sort of like that. Okay. And there's another servo bolt thing. So what do we got for screws there? I'm going to throw that in behind. Those are just normal colors there. Oh, that's where all those nice screws came from. They were all my servo screws. You know, real short servo screws. Yeah. Easy now, easy. Alright, things are starting to fight me. I gotta find a long bolt. And you don't want to see the back of my head while I do so. It's gotta go through the front of the axle and into this servo holder. So, I'm gonna find that and I'll bring you straight back. Alright guys, sorry to leave these hanging. I know it was only a split second for you, but it was a big old struggle bus for me. So I got this in, as you can see. And the servo is definitely behind the axle, but it is hitting the shock. The cup on the bottom. Now I have I've seen these, the way this kit is built online. Now this is like a super shafty, all plastic build. You know, maybe we'll do it one day, maybe I'll print it up, the whole chassis and everything, but it uses Desert Lizard shocks. Now I have Desert Lizard shocks, but they're only 90 millimeters, and I use these because they're 100 with an extension piece, they're 110. I really want that behind the axle though, so it looks like in order for that to move, you would near have to have that shock straight up and straight down. So long story short, I'm going to have to dig out the Desert Lizards and change the shocks out if I want to use this situation. And I do, because it seems pretty strong and I want to test it. And behind the axle servo, the bolt went right through the axle into the mount. I got two of the screws in holding the servo down. It looks like it's on top of the axle right now, but it's behind it. See? That's pretty cool, eh? You can just see the truss, and then the two links will go right up here. 1 and 2. So all the steering is near gonna have to be done from here to there. So we're gonna need like a short link or something. Can that be done? Yeah, there. So it only needs that much movement, and now that it's behind, it'll be fine. So I can finish this by pulling the shocks off, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna have to take apart the other truck, get the shocks off it, the Desert Lizards. Even if I know if there's no springs, this thing will just have full droop. Okay, well, we'll try it with full droop first. That's what we'll do. So, we'll try it with full droop. Where's that? Put the screw right in the way? Okay. I'm gonna get that out. Come on out of there, little guy. Okay, pull the screw right there. Now, if this was a desert lizard, it wouldn't have that. That would be like that, and it would sit just fine, wouldn't it? Yep. It would sit just fine. And you could even, whoa, come on, there we go, get that over the top like that. You sit up there just half normal. Well, half normal I said, not full normal. Get that out of the way. Tight tolerances. There we go. Awesome. That went through. Great. Sorry, I wanted to take a look at this. Shoot, I need a longer bolt. I'm going to need a longer bolt, and we're going to have to move these forward. I know I'm just holding that. That's what it looks like. And the servo can move around. The links don't affect it. Longer bolt though. Okay. I got like really long bolts. I know you see this one, but what's the difference, right? No difference. I don't think that'll hit. Put in the longer bolts. Let's see here. There's also multiple pieces of this you can print too, that it has like a piece that comes back. I don't think that one would help us or benefit us in any way. Okay, great. Then you just throw a little knot on the end here. Like that. Ooh, acrobatics here. Where's my little friend there? Am I the right way? Yeah. Ooh, that popped right out. Here, let's do it this way, then you guys can see. You guys can watch me struggle. Tight enough. There we go. Tight enough. That comes off of there. Now we got to get into some custom link work. Look, that's ooh. From there to there. I hope this servo moves that much. Everything's all on top of it now. You really got to have your P's and Q's lined up for this one. So you see this link, guys? It's not. It doesn't line up with that. But it is behind the axle. What's the bottom look like? Doesn't drop below the axle. Look at that. Disappears. And it's tucked up nice. Look at that. That's not too bad. That's just a little cheap servo too. That looks nice, guys. Then with a little customization, I'll do all that off camera. I gotta jig with this rod a little bit and everything. But anyway, that's a decent update for the budget build, the budget buggy build. So I'm gonna have to, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, I'm gonna have to change the shocks just to use that mount. I suppose I could just leave that loose. Just for the sake of whatever. It'll pop off. I should put a screw through it. It puts a bunch of preload on that side that I don't want. Maybe I just counteract it with preload on this side. Something like that. You guys get the idea. So like and subscribe. Thank you if you've been along this far in the video. I really appreciate it. We'll have some more fun stuff to do. That's lined up nice. And there was 1 version, 2 version, 3 versions of this. So I figured the longest one that went all the way around the axle would have the most strength. But I should have printed the one that stopped about here. Because this would be for like your, this part is made for a rock jock axle. They have attachment points. They have a lot more screw points, so like there'd be one there and there and there, and then another one in the front. But anyway, long story short, that's a good behind the axle servo mount. That was a free file on Thingiverse. It was the AR60 Super Shafty. So if it works for me, it might work for you. I gotta figure around and get the end of them links, get the end of that link, and that steering reoriented. But like I said, like and subscribe, and thanks guys, I really appreciate it. Figured I'd bring you in for a closer look. See how it moves it right behind the axle. So there's our front. Used to have an axle right in the front, now it just has a truss riser. And move that steering link out of the way. Oh, twice. Guys. There's the axle. There's the servo. That's tucked up there pretty tight for a printed job. That's not bad at all. Alright guys, thanks a lot. Alright guys, welcome back. You know I couldn't leave you hanging. There we are. Got that link all done up. Now our tires turn. Look below the axle. Nothing. Above the axle, pretty standard. Link riser. I know that screw's high. I'm gonna get a proper length screw. That's just for proof of concept. See if we can't. Just trying to concentrate on the background. There we are. It'll slide underneath that if there wasn't a screw there. So it would turn it further. It would turn this far. Awesome guys. Behind the axle 3D printed. So basically I had to find them screws. You get to move that link all the way up and out of the way. It moves everything out of the way. And behind the axle. That's a win. That needs to go up top there for straightness.